Lesson 5. The core elements of news writing: objectivity, fairness, balance and attribution. Objectives. Understand the importance of objectivity in presenting unbiased and factual news. Explore how fairness ensures diverse perspective in news coverage. Learn how to achieve balance by presenting all sides of the story. Recognize the role of attribution in maintaining transparency and credibility. Welcome to today's session on the core elements of the news writing: objectivity, fairness, balance and attribution. These principles are the backbone of ethical journalism, ensuring trust and accuracy in the stories we tell. Whether you are writing for print, digital or social media, these elements guide us in presenting facts without bias, providing a platform for diverse credibility with our audience. In this session, we will explore each element in detail and learn how to apply them effectively across platforms. By mastering these, you will take your news writing skills to the next level. We are going to cover 4 major pillars, that is objectivity, fairness, balance, attribution. What do we mean when we say a journalist should be objective? It means reporting facts without letting personal opinions, feelings or biases creep in. Imagine you are covering a story about a political protest. Your job is to describe what happened, not to take sides. Objectivity is like being a referee in a game, but you don't support anyone. But here is the catchy. Complete objectivity is hard because we are all humans. What we can do is try to minimize our biases, stick to the facts and let the audience decide how they feel. For example, instead of saying the protest was chaotic, say over 500 people gathered, some carrying banners and chanting slogans while others clashed with the police officers. See the difference? The second one is neutral and lets the audience form their opinion. Objectivity also means double checking your sources. If you hear something shocking, verify it. Don't rush to publish until you are sure it's true. Misinformation spreads quickly, and once your credibility is damaged, it's hard to rebuild. Being fair means giving all sides of a story equal weightage and representation. Let's go back to the political protest example. If you only interview people who support the protest, that's one-sided. A fair report will include voices from the protesters, the police and maybe even bypassers. Every one perspective matters. Fairness does not mean you agree with every opinion. It's just mean you present them honestly. Here is a quick tip: because you publish your story, ask yourself, have I covered all the angles? Is there anyone I missed? If the answer is yes, you need to dig deeper. Also, fairness means avoid loaded languages. Let me give you an example. Instead of writing the corrupt company faced protest, say the company accused of financial irregularities faced protest. Balance and fairness often go hand in hand, but balance is more about how much attention you give to each side. For example, imagine you are covering a debate on climate change. One side says we need immediate action to reduce emission. The other side says climate change isn't real. Now, here is the tricky part. Balance does not mean you give equal time to both sides if one side has overwhelming evidence. In cases like this, you can mention the opposing view, but make it clear where the scientific consequences lies. That's called contextual balance. But most stories like local elections or a community dispute, balance means giving everyone their fair share of space in your story. Balance is also involves the tone of your writing. Don't make one side sound like heroes and the other like villains unless there is undeniable proof. Keep it neutral and remember, your job is to inform, not to persuade. This one is super important. Attribution means telling your audience where your information comes from. Why is this important? Because it builds trust. When you say according to police reports or experts from XYZ university say, you are showing your audience that your story is based on credible sources, not just a rumor or your opinion. Here is an example. Instead of saying crime rates are increasing in the city, say crime rates have risen by 20% this year according to the city police department. See how adding a source makes the statement more reliable? Yes. Attribution also protects you as a journalist. If someone challenges your story, you can point to your sources. But be careful, always use trustworthy sources. If your information is based on a random social media post, mention it with caution, like a video circulating on social media claims ... and then verify it before giving it too much weight. Now that we have covered the 4 elements, here are some quick tips to apply them in your writing. First is start with the facts. Who, what, when, where, why and how. These are your foundations. Avoid emotional languages. Words like amazing or horrifying can make your story sound biased. And also use quotes wisely. Direct quote from sources add authenticity, but make sure they are relevant and accurate. Edit ruthlessly. Cut out anything that feels opinionated or unnecessary. Starting with objectivity. In news writing refers to the principles of reporting facts without personal bias, opinion or influences. It is the cornerstone of the journalistic ethics, ensuring that the audience receive accurate, reliable and unbiased information. This principle is critical in maintaining credibility and trust, especially in print, electronic and social media, where the dynamics of content creation differs significantly. Objectivity in print media. Print media like newspapers, magazines has a long history of adhering to objectivity reporting standards. Objectivity here means focusing on verified facts, balanced coverage and avoiding emotional or biased language. Journalists rely on credible sources, rigorous fact checking and editorial oversight to ensure accuracy. Some example, a newspaper article on a political protest would detail the event's time, place, participants and outcomes, quoting voices from all sides. Print media's slower production process also for thorough research and across checking, making it more reliable but less immediate compared to electronic or social media. Now, we will see objectivity in electronic media. In electronic media such as television and radio, objectivity is equally vital, but presents unique challenges due to the immediacy of live reporting. Journalists strive to maintain neutrality while delivering breaking news in real time. They use visuals and audio elements add another layer of responsibility. For instance, how visuals are framed or audio clips are edited can slightly influence the perceptions. So, electronic media often balances the need for fast reporting with in-depth analysis in later segments to ensure fairness and objectivity. Now, if you look at objectivity in social media, while a powerful platform for information dissemination, operates differently. Here, objectivity is often compromised due to the lack of gatekeeping and the influence of user generated content. Many posts mix facts with opinions, leading to potential misinformation. One of example for this is a tweet about the same political protest may highlight one perspective or use sensational language to grab attention. Social media platforms prioritize engagement over accuracy, encouraging content that provokes reactions. Unlike print and electronic media, there is less accountability and editorial oversight, making objectivity harder to achieve. Key differences across platforms. Speed versus accuracy. With print media and electronic media, often priority accuracy with established protocols for verifying facts, whereas social media emphasizes speed and virality, sometimes at the expense of truth. If we look at editorial outsight in comparison with them, print and electronic media have a professional editors to uphold objectivity, but with social media lacks formal oversight, making it prone to biases. What kind of tone and language are used in traditional media? Avoid sensationalism to maintain objectivity. Instead, social media frequently uses emotional or biased tones to attract engagements. How about audience interaction? Social media blurs the lines between the reporters and the audiences, with opinions often presented as news, whereas audiences' interaction in traditional media is delayed and limited at times. While objectivity remains the golden standard in print and electronic media, social media struggles to uphold this principle due to its inherent nature. The audience must critically evaluate content across platforms, understand the differences in their approach to objectivity. As media evolves, maintaining objectivity across all formats is vital for sustaining public trust in journalism. Fairness in news writing ensures that all perspectives are represented accurately and without prejudice. It is a crucial principle for forecasting truth and credibility in journalism. While fairness is a universal standard, its applicable varieties across platforms, print, electronic, social media, each with unique challenges and dynamics. Let's see how fairness is used in print media. Print media fairness is rooted in balanced reporting and thorough fact checking. Journalists strive to include multiple viewpoints, ensuring no single perspective dominates the narrative. For example, a newspaper article covering a labor strike would include quotes from workers, employers, and possibly independent experts, offering a holistic view of the issue. Print media's structured editing process helps maintain fairness as editors review content to identify and eliminate biases. The medium's slower publication cycle allows time to research and address any gaps in representation, fostering comprehensive and fair reporting. Fairness in electronic media, how is followed? Let's see. Fairness in electronic media such as Fairness in electronic media such as television and radio is more challenging due to the immediacy of live broadcast and time constraint. Journalists must quickly gather information and present it in a way that avoids favoritism. Because in electronic media, visuals and audio elements play a crucial role in perceptions. For example, how interviews are edited and how much airtime each side receives can affect fairness. A live debate on a news channel might aim for fairness by allotting equal time to opposing party and moderating discussions to prevent one side from dominating. However, pressures to maintain rating can sometimes lead to sensationalism, which risks skewing fairness. Now, coming to the fairness in social media. Social media operates in a vastly different environment where fairness often takes a backseat to spread. Virality and personal opinion. Here, user-generated content dominates, and the absence of the traditional editorial oversight can lead to the imbalanced reporting. Some examples: A social media post about a controversial event may focus on one side of the story, often driven by the posters, biases, or the platform's algorithms, which amplify content like to provoke engagement. Unlike print and electronic media, where fairness is a professional expectation, social media users are not bound by journalistic ethics, leading to proliferation of one-side narratives. The interactive nature of social media also allows for comment section and sharing, where fairness can be undermined by echo chambers or hostile discourse. Let's see the key differences across platforms. First is editorial oversight. In print and electronic media have gatekeepers such as editors and producers to uphold fairness. But whereas in social media, it lacks structure, making fairness and user-driven responsibility. Coming to the representation of voices, print and electronic media strive to include all relevant perspectives, whereas social media often amplifies the loudest or most sensational voices, sidelining nuanced views. With speed versus depth, traditional media balances fairness with thorough research, whereas social media prioritizes immediacy, often at the expense of balanced representation. Fairness remains a fundamental principle in journalism, but its implementation varies by platforms. While print and electronic media are guided by professional ethics, social media relies heavily on the individual responsibility. Understanding these differences helps audiences critically evaluate content and foster a more informed public discourse. As journalism evolves, remaining fairness across platforms is essential for credible and ethical reporting. Balance in news writing refers to presenting all sides of the story equal and without bias, allowing audiences to form their own opinion. It is a key aspect of journalistic integrity, ensuring that no perspective is unfair, emphasizing, or overloaded. While balance is a shared goal across platforms, print, electronic, and social media, each medium approaches it differently due to distinct formats and pressures. Balance in print media. Print media upholds balance by dedicating equal attention to all relevant viewpoints in a story. For example, in an article about climate change policies, a balanced approach would include insights from environmentalists, government officials, and industry leaders, ensuring one single viewpoint dominates. Editors play a significant role in maintaining balance by carefully reviewing the text for omissions or biases. The slower production cycle of newspapers and the magazines provide journalists with the time needed to research, verify facts, and present a well-rounded narrative. However, balance in print media can occasionally be influenced by editorial policies or the publication's learning, though these biases are often subtle compared to other platforms. Balance in electronic media. In electronic media such as television and radio, balance must be achieved in real time, which presents unique challenge. For example, a news channel covering a political debate would aim to give equal airtime to candidates from opposing parties, ensuring each has a fair chance to present their views. Visuals and tones are critical to maintain balance. For instance, showing a neutral footage rather than a favoring one group protects visuals help prevent perceived biases. The fast-paced nature of breaking news reporting sometimes makes it difficult to achieve balance immediately, though follow-up segments often provide additional context. Rating and audience preferences can sometimes influence how stories are framed, potentially skewing balance despite journalistic efforts. Let's see balance in social media. Social media, unlike traditional platforms, is largely unregulated and user driven, making balance harder to achieve. For example, a viral post about a controversial issue may highlight one side of the argument, often with a little regard of the opposing perspective. The platform algorithm favor engagements over neutrality, amplifying sensational or one-sided content. This creates echo chambers where balanced discussions are rare. Unlike print and electronic media, social media lacks professional editorial oversights, leaving the responsibility of maintaining balance to individual content creators or users. Efforts to provide balance on social media often rely on fact-checking organizations or counter-narrative from other users, but these measures are not always effective. Let's see some key differences across these platforms. First, speed and depth. Print media has the luxury of time to create balanced content, whereas electronic media strives for balance in real-time reporting but faces constraints. Other side, social media prioritizes speed and engagement, often sacrifices balance. If it is about gatekeeping job, print and electronic media have a professional oversight to ensure balanced coverage, whereas social media is user generated with no formal mechanism or maintaining balance. Coming to audience dynamics, traditional media provides balanced stories to inform audiences, whereas social media often reflects individuals or group biases influencing perception. Balance in news writing is vital, providing audiences with comprehensive and fair information. While print and electronic media aim to achieve balance through structured processes and ethical guidelines, social media operates with fewer constraints, leading to more frequent imbalances. Understanding these differences is crucial for critically evaluating news across platforms and fostering informed public discourse. Now, attribution in news writing refers to the practice of creating sources for the information used in the story. It ensures transparency, credibility, accountability, allowing audiences to assess the reliability of the news. The approach to attribution varies across platforms, whether it is print, electronic or social media, based on their nature and practices. Attribution in print media. In print media, attribution is a cornerstone of journalistic ethics. Journalists are expected to credit all sources clearly and accurately. To give an example, a newspaper article reporting on a new government policy might attribute information to the government spokesperson, citing them by name and the position. Print media allows space to include detailed attributions such as the name, title and affiliations of sources. Footnotes or references may also be used in in-depth reporting. The editorial overview process ensures that all claims are properly attributed and that anonymous sources are used sparingly with clear justifications. This meticulous approach to attribution helps maintain the credibility of print journalism, as readers can track information back to its origin. Now, attributions in electronic media. In electronic media, attribution is equally important, but can be more challenging due to time constraints and the dynamic nature of live reporting. Let's take an example. During a live television broadcast about a natural disaster, reporter may attribute information to the local authorities or official government reports rather than specific individuals, especially if details are still emerging. Visuals and audio elements often serve as a implicit form of attribution. For instance, video footage from a government press conference acts as an attribution to the speaker. While time constraints may limit detailed attribution during the live reporting, follow-up segments or online articles often provide more comprehensive sources. The immediacy of the electronic media can sometimes lead to rush or incomplete attributions, but professional standards demand corrections or clarifications when necessary. Now, we will see attributions in social media. Attribution in social media is far less standardized and frequently problematic. User generated content combines and many posts lack proper credit for sources. To give an example, a viral tweet about a political issue might share information without specifying its origin, leaving audiences unable to verify its accuracy. The pressure to be the first to post breaking news often leads to incomplete or missing attributions as users prioritize speed over the accuracy. Social media platforms have introduced tools like fact-checking labels and citation prompts, but these are not universally enforced. Additionally, content creation may attribute sources informally, such as linking to articles or tagging individuals. The lack of professional oversight on social media contributes to the spreading of misinformation, making attributes a significant challenge. Now, we will see the key differences across platforms. Detailed and structured. Print media offers detailed and structured attributions. Electronic media balances brevity and clarity, especially in live reporting. But whereas social media often provides minimal or informal attributions. Coming to the accountability, print and electronic media are held to professional standards for attributions, whereas social media depends on user ethics with no consistent enforcement mechanism. Coming to audience expectations, audiences trust attributions in traditional media due to established norms. Social media audiences are more skeptical, give the prevalence of misinformation. Attribution is, especially across all platforms, is attribution essential across all platforms, but its execution varies. Print media excels in detailed and formal attributions. Electronic media balances real-time reporting with accuracy, and social media struggles with consistency and credibility. Strengthening attribute practices, especially on social media, is crucial for maintaining public trust in news across the platforms. Credibility is the foundation of effective news writing, ensuring that audience trust the information presented. It stems from accuracy, objectivity, and ethical reporting practices. Credible news writing relies on thorough research, fact-checking, and the inclusion of verified sources to deliver reliable information. Journalists build credibility by maintaining impartial, avoid sensationalism, and provide balanced perspectives. Transparent attribution of sources further enhances trust as audience can trace the origin of the information. For example, quoting a government report or expert directly adds authenticity to the story. Credibility is particularly crucial in the digital age, where misinformation spreads rapidly. Print and electronic media uphold credibility through established editorial processes, while social media often struggles with unverified content and biases. This makes it essential for journalists on all platforms to give importance to ethical standards and accountability. Maintaining credibility also involves correcting errors promptly and openly. A journalist's reputation and the media organization integrity depends on delivering trust and unbiased content. Ultimately, credibility in news writing fosters informed public discourse and strengthens the role of journalism in society. In an era of widespread skepticism, credibility news is a vital tool for upholding democracy and empowering audiences with accurate information. News writing is rooted in key principles that uphold its integrity and ensure its value to society. First, objectivity demands impartial reporting, free from personal biases, enabling audiences from their own opinions by focusing on facts and presenting evidence without prejudice. Objectivity fosters trust in journalism, whereas the other side, fairness, requires journalists to give all relevant perspectives a voice, ensuring no single viewpoint dominates. This approach helps audiences understand diverse opinions on complex issues and avoids favoritism. We also discussed importance of balance as it complements fairness by allotting equal weightage to all sides of the story. Balanced reporting involves presenting opposing viewpoint clearly and without distortion, helping readers or viewers gain a comprehensive understanding. Coming to attributions, we discussed that it ensures transparency by crediting sources for information. This practice not only strengthens the credibility of the news, but also allows audiences to verify the authenticity of the content. Proper attribution, whether through direct quotes or references, is essential for accountability. Finally, we touched upon credibility. It is the cornerstone of the effective news writing. It is built on accuracy, ethical practices and transparency. Credible journalism maintains public trust, counters misinformation and support informed discourse. Therefore, these principles form the backbone of the responsible news writing across platforms, ensuring journalism remains a trustworthy pillar of democracy. That is it for today. We will meet in the next class with another interesting topic.